Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries. That's Aaron, and then down there looking for a treat is Moppy. So, yes. What's today's topic about, Aaron?
Well, a nice little organization that's supposed to handle situations for Medicare, because Medicare doesn't offer any contact information other than their phone number, in which they won't talk to you about your medical problems. They only talk to you about your card and your payment systems, etc. Like whether you're making your payments or whether they're covering something. Unfortunately, they don't handle, well, this problem's technically covered by you. How do I go about getting approval for it? Instead, they recommend you to another organization, usually a different one for each state. So I live in the state of Washington, but I'm not going to go ahead and give the name of the place. Anyways,
because it's slander.
Here's what they do. They allow you to send them a message of up to 500 words. Otherwise, you have to go into their office and apply in person. Now, the 500 letters. I wasn't able to describe everything. So the guy gets back to me and he says, "Oh, we can help. We have lots of ideas. We'll get back to you as soon as you can. Are you sure you don't have a phone we can contact you with and you can't make it to our office?" I said, "Yes, I have no phone because even though I supplied one, that number is out of service due to the fact that I can't afford a phone, and I couldn't send this message without a phone number." Go figure. And what? They're discriminatory against people who can't afford a phone? That's my first thought on them. Now, finally, after a week, he gets back to me, and I sent him a list of everything that's wrong with my dental problem and why I haven't been able to get it done, and the reason that it's an emergency. He sends something back that looks like he used Google Translate to translate my letter into Spanish, then translated Spanish into English to send back to me. It read very similar to, "I know problem hard, but no can help."
Sound like an Asian or a Russian.
It's like, what the hell? Yeah, but his name was very Spanish. And in this state, you know that a Spanish name means that they speak Spanish. I guess he could have spoke Filipino, as Filipinos have Spanish names too. But their language is close enough to Spanish.
That'd be cool if it was a Filipino. I like Filipinos.
I don't know exactly where this organization is out of. His last name was, I believe, something like Espada. So
I want to try the Espada cigar. I think it's by Monte Cristo, if I don't, no offense to you cigar smokers out there.
It might have been Estevez. It began with an E.
Espada cigars.
And then his first name was also very Hispanic. And what I have a major problem in this state too with the fact that if you contact DSHS out of Olympia, at least last time I contacted him, you had to press 2 for English. Otherwise, press 1 or stay on the line for Spanish. This is not. This isn't right in this country to have that happening. Sorry, one of the neighbors was kicking Rita's door. This is an ongoing occurrence, too. It's a bit of discrimination, actually, as some of our neighbors around here do not like us, and we know what it is.
Yeah, they're against transgender people. Apparently, the lady next door kicks my door, believes that I made their son transsexual. Go figure.
That's part of it. And that's all because she has him in this haircut with long, poofy hair. And it's like, you know what? And the only kids that you allow your kid to play with in his own age group are girls. No wonder he's pushing around a cart with dolls in it. But anyways, they want to blame. What are you doing?
I was looking for this. I was trying to figure out which one was this one. That's the Marine one. But anyways, yes.
Anyways, the guy says, "Oh, $247 to have an initial appointment with a dentist? That is really, really affordable. You should have no problem with." That was essentially the way it was worded. You should be no problem with. Anyways, I said, basically in a response to him, good for you that $247 is a laughing joke to you, that you can afford that easily. I said, that's 5 months of saving for me, 5 to 10 months. And, well, actually, it's less than that. It's probably about 2 to 4 months. And that's if I can actually save. But unfortunately, I have a heart and I help people out. And I tend to end up not saving a dime when I try to. But that's another story for another day. What?
Just, I'm reading something. You continue.
Well, you're laughing. It makes me wonder what you're saying. Doesn't that do that for any of you out there when you're talking to somebody and they start giggling at something? Doesn't it tell you, hey, what's so interesting? What are you giggling at? You want to know. So you lose your train of thought.
Pro Gunners basically watched Harry Reid being spiraled down the Johnny Flushers, how it put it. So I was chuckling about it. Anyways.
See, that's why you're not supposed to read while you're doing something like this, or when you're talking to somebody.
So anyways, little Moppy there's unhappy, but you get the point.
Then on top of that, he says, oh, go and talk to the dentist, go and talk to the oral surgeons, or talk to your mental health provider or your doctor. I've already done those things. My doctor says there's absolutely nothing they can do. They even tried to make a case for me to go to a doctor out of state city that does it, but he had to get a referral from in-state. Unless, of course, I found out that they decided to contact Medicare directly and get approval, but of course they won't do that. The dentist has kicked me out essentially due to my service dog. And due to the fact that Rita had a falling out with a doctor over there. Apparently the doctor got in her face about the fact that she needed a hearing dog and was asking if she could have a note that says that she could benefit from a dog that alerted her to noise. Didn't ask whether the dog was qualified, asked whether she benefited or not. Anyways, he told her not to come back to this entire community center, the community health center. Well, that's where our dentist is located. So, essentially, we were kicked out for that. It's a form of discrimination. There's no doubt about that. We're highly discriminated against in this town, both for being transgendered and possibly homosexual, which they assume of me, which I'm not.
No, I tried to speak last night about a video for you viewers out there trying to say that, we've been discriminated much because they accuse Aaron of being a homosexual.
And there's actually quite a bit of discrimination around here against whites. And I don't blame them because there's a lot of discrimination from the whites around here against the Hispanics. We actually have a restaurant that is white non-disabled only restaurant. If you're Hispanic or you're disabled in there, they'll throw you out, or they'll sit there and let you wait 45 minutes for your food while they go and serve everybody else within 5 to 10. It's absolutely horrible practice. They'll also auto-charge tips to Hispanic people and disabled people, where they won't add in a tip to the white people, expecting them to just give one generously. These are practices I know they do. And because of things like that, there's no reason why the Hispanics in this town should take to whites too kindly. They're treated like crap in this town. I feel sorry for them, but it's not a reason why I should be treated like crap from them, which happens all the time too. I mean, I'm not exactly racist. I do have my problem with people who come to this country and refuse to learn English, and I've been told I'm racist for that.
I got a story to tell you, talking about government things. Thank you. Talking about it. Last night I was on the phone, and I told Aaron I'd never heard anything like this in my entire life. I had to call Social Security up, and they said, if you're interested, if you're an illegal immigrant and you need to know more about Obama's executive action, we have no more information at this time. Please call back later. Yes, and I'm
apparently they're calling like crazy and trying to get Social Security numbers. But that's beside the point. What I was trying to say is that... I swear, ruining the video, or trying to.
No, sorry.
But, see, I lost my train of thought because I got cut off. Somebody once told me, there's a problem with your videos because Aaron is attempting to cut off Rita all the time. It's not all the time. It's when I have a major train of thought, which that video, and particularly that comment was made, was essentially a solo video in which Rita kept butting in. And it's like, whoa, Rita, you're destroying my train of thought to go off on a tangent that doesn't even meet up. This is something I know that she does. But now I don't remember what I was saying. It had to do with the fact that, I know. I've been told that it's a racist to say that a person who doesn't know English should learn English if they're going to live in America. They should be allowed to learn whatever language they want and not speak English. That's fine, and as they consider it. I'm strongly believe that you should not teach your children a foreign language before you teach them English if you're going to live in America. Again, I'm apparently racist for that.
Well, apparently I am too, because, apparently, and I'm going to say this rudely to the viewers out there, a friend of mine who claims we're racist, and this is a perverted thing, says Mexican penis is the best because she loves it and she's a white girl. Yeah, okay, and I said no, to each their own. Well, if you don't like it, you're a racist. I'm a racist because I don't support them speaking
That's only what
Spanish,
one person is, because you don't want to have dick, period. You don't want it. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. You're consider yourself lesbian. Well, so, since you don't want dick in the first place, that was inappropriate, first of all, to be bringing up in this video.
No, I'm just saying she thinks
But apparently Rita is racist because she doesn't want Hispanic dick. She doesn't want any dick.
No, I'm racist because I'm against the Hispanics
I don't even understand now.
Learning Spanish first. And,
what was this about your friend and dick?
Oh, she's the one that said that we're racist against us.
Because we don't want Mexican dick. I'm sorry, but I'm not gay either. And so apparently our friend doesn't understand that neither one of us are gay and neither one of us are interested in men, so she thinks that we're racist because we don't want a man that's Hispanic. But that's beside the point. That really is beside the point. Again, went off on a tangent that we didn't even need to. Here we are 12 minutes in and we haven't actually said anything except for derogatory, crappy stuff that sounds terrible and horrible. But, yeah, anyways, my whole point of this thing was the guy needs to learn English before he starts working with people. This was not meant to get off into a racist thing. This meant to be that here is an organization that's supposed to be working directly with Medicare who is hiring Spanish-speaking only people to handle their thing, because otherwise he could have sat there and said, hey, I'm not very good at English. Can somebody else in the office handle this? They delegate these things. Why would they delegate to a person who doesn't know enough English to speak to somebody who speaks English? I mean, seriously, have Dr. You call yet? Yes, I've called my doctor, but is that proper English? What are they doing? Are they sending this stuff out of country to be dealt with now? I don't understand. Then I was asked if I have a caseworker, which I don't. I don't qualify for a caseworker because I don't qualify for Medicaid, and there's no social worker apparently in our hospital. If there is a social worker, the hospital's lying to me and saying, there is no social worker, talk to your doctor. Doctor won't do absolutely anything. And then I was told to talk to my mental health specialist. Unfortunately, the mental health specialist threatened me last time, threatened Rita, and told Rita that if I didn't guarantee 4 appointments and pay for them in full, that they would end up requiring payee status and will force me to go there and pay for them.
So the other day I make payments
to them. Then we find out that they both have been...
I make payments. Ow! Oh, you okay?
Damn you!
Yes, okay. Damn me.
I think it just gave me a paper cut on my arm because that hurt like hell.
Paper's not got blood on it.
I don't see blood, but... Anyways, that hurt.
Sorry. Anyways, what I was trying to say is, here's the mental health bill. I'm supposed to have 4 appointments a month, too.
Yeah, well, anyways, they decided to try to threaten the payee thing, and so we said we weren't going back there. So then they ended up billing her, but they never billed me and sent mine directly to collections. Now I'm trying to fight them over that because it's going against my credit score, and I would have paid the bill. However, I also am way underneath the poverty level, so I would have qualified for their 0% flat sliding scale. However, they don't offer the 0% sliding scale if you happen to have any type of insurance. But now with Obamacare, everyone must have some type of insurance. So their sliding scale, they might as well just throw out the door and say, screw you, we don't offer one. stop offering one if it's going to only people who don't have insurance, because you technically can't see anybody who doesn't have insurance.
Well, I want to say, because the day we went in there, because I sent payment towards the bill, you know, and then I paid another payment recently towards it, and I just got another one saying, please remit in full. I still got plenty of time to pay it, you know, 4 months before it goes to collection, and I've kept it open. But problem is, we went in there, and I went over to the post office, and Aaron said the lady just started there. She didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, she had no clue, but she did inform me that the two people do not work there anymore. And, well, I don't know if I want to go back there after that. Their attitudes are wrong, and the fact that they sent it directly to collections agency is wrong. But they're the only mental health facility in this entire area. There is no one else. Well, actually, we've been informed that the doctor now has one that they use out in New York, and you get on a video conference with them in a private room, but they won't offer that to me, even though they know that I have mental problems and don't have a mental therapist.
I was offered that when I called the other day.
Oh, they offered it to her. They don't offer it to me, even though I have more problems mentally than she does. Hers are learning disabilities. Learning disabilities, but she gets mental health. I have an actual form of, like,
apparently the doctor...
paranoid delusion, schizophrenia. I have a full-blown actual mental disorder. Mine isn't I don't understand things type situation.
Apparently they offered
I'm the type that would probably do something stupid, like you see in the news, where she's more likely to sit there and just be like, whatever.
All I was going to say is they offered
it's okay
it to
for me to
because
not be medicated or treated, but it's not okay for her to not be medicated.
It was because the doctor wants to prove I'm transgender. By the way, I got my paperwork for my safe lined up to go, so they can't use that card against me anymore. But they want me to see the psychologist that can help the doctor out. And so when I go and see them coming up, I'm going to rip into her about 20 ways from Sunday and say he needs more help than I do.
I also think that video in question that I was referring to earlier was kind of a rant video. When I get going on a rant, it's kind of very hard because you're kind of angry and passionate about what you're ranting about. And of course, it doesn't help when you end up having somebody just cut into you. In fact, I know this video has been a horrible video so far. I hope it's made some people laugh, because that's about all I can find from it. Is it's laughable.
Addict loves getting his tax dollars worth out of it, is what I think.
I mean, I've gotten very angry at certain points where you've just cut in and said something that doesn't belong, but it doesn't belong. Anyways, I honestly think this video should all be redone, because I've lost the point of what this video was even about. It was about this organization and the fact that they're listed by Medicare to help people when Medicare offers something, but you have to prove or be considered technically necessary to have it done, which I've been able to do, but this organization basically is trying to do everything else. In fact, they even tell me to go to the church and beg the church for help, because even the pastor at the church might take up a collection plate for you to get it done, and people in the church might donate their hard-earned money to help you. That's nice if perhaps I went to a church and was already established at a church, but going into a church and begging for help is not going to do anything except for make people dislike you. Number two, I happen to be a minister, and in my belief, I don't believe in public prayer. I don't believe in going to church because the church is within one's own heart. I believe in the good works in the Bible and not the condemnation, you're going to hell bits. Yeah, okay, so the Bible says that you're going to hell in certain points, and it says that this is a sin and this shouldn't be done. In fact, there's lots of points where it says this shouldn't be done, but it doesn't say it's a sinful thing that will end up having you in hell. It just says don't do this. Which most of them are common sense things. So I don't think that if something is essentially common sense that you shouldn't do, then you should end up being told you're going to hell for it. Because that's just a threat that shouldn't be made. So I don't believe in that. So anyways, I said, what, I should toss out my religious beliefs and use a church for the sake of getting this done to save my life? That's totally wrong and inappropriate of you to even mention. I even said that that's discriminatory in saying that, what, I don't deserve to live if I'm not an honest churchgoer that can actually go into my church and say, please help me.
We had a friend of ours got a car from the church.
Oh, yeah. She actually went to church, asked for a car, and as soon as she got the car, she stopped going to church. In fact, the church now says they are never going to help another person with a car because of that. But, you know, she's well within her rights, I guess. And now she started going to another church, so I figure she's going to ask them to help her with a house. Because that's the next thing she wants, and she wants us to give us our prayers for her to have a house. I will not pray for somebody who can't afford a house to have a house. Because, for one, what if the roof fails? What if the water tank blows? What if she can't afford it? And it's just two people. She's got a nice apartment right now in the heart of town with almost no neighbors. It's only supposed to be $250 according to her.
And the electricity's covered.
And the electricity's covered there. And garbage and water. And, well, what the heck? $250 is cheaper than I'm paying almost. And I'm on a subsidized price.
Don't forget,
she's
sweetie,
not.
You got to pay the electric bill here.
Yeah, and she doesn't have to pay electric. I have to pay electric. I don't know. She's got a sweet deal. Her and her husband bring in like
her internet's $172 a month now.
Her and her husband have to bring in like $3,500, $4,000 a month, and yet they want a house.
Well, she wants a house. He doesn't.
And you know they're only paying $250. What's going to end? And he doesn't even want a house.
No. She's
going to ruin their marriage because of it. I cannot give my blessings to that. I can't pray for her to have a house. That is a want. It's not a need. She's got what she needs.
Exactly.
But she's not willing to see that she's got what she needs. It's not going to help me.
That's what Miss Angela would say. It's a want. It's not a need. A house is not a need. You got a roof over your head, so what gives, you know?
And honestly, I hope she doesn't see this video because she's the same one who's discriminatory against us, thinking that we're racist because of Mexican dick. Because we're not interested in one. But anyways, that was a topic that this thing should never have gotten on.
Yeah, I was going to say something else.
I don't like speaking about that. I don't like talking about that. Essentially, I'm celibate, and I don't really care for sex. I am not like most guys. Unfortunately, that ends up bringing up another issue. There was a woman not long ago who seems to think that I should try to be like everyone else because that's how I should be. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be somebody that I am not for somebody else, ever, period. Not going to happen. I am not going to go jogging every day and lose weight and start drinking only veggie shakes and eating veggie burgers so that I can be socially acceptable by shaving my hair, shaving my face, waxing my hair with a nice little neat part, and wearing collared shirts and patent leather shoes and dress slacks everywhere I go, and using my iPod and my iPad and my iPhone that I can't afford to have. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go out of my way to live a lifestyle I can't possibly afford. And I'm not going to go and get surgery for these that's going to cost probably $7,000 or $8,000 if I'm even lucky enough to get that, which I can't afford and isn't covered by insurance. But I'm an excuse maker because I was born with something that I can't get rid of.
Medicare will cover it. I looked into it.
Medicare will cover it if it becomes medically necessary. At this point, it's borderline medical necessary because I have pain from them, but not enough pain to actually be considered medically necessary yet. Even though I'm already a full C. I refuse to wear a bra because I'm a guy. Okay, and she tells me I'm fat for. I'm not exactly fat. I'm 200 pounds, but I'm at least 30 pounds up there, which I don't like. Sorry, been that way since I was 5. Well, maybe not that much weight, but I've had male breasts since I was 5. That's why I refused to play skins basketball or anything in school, and why I was ridiculed and picked on partially. Besides the fact that I was already very withdrawn because I'd gone through severe trauma and abuse as a child. But apparently, the fact that I went through severe trauma and abuse as a child, and I was describing the reason that, you know, nobody's technically ever loved me, my mother even attempted to kill me, etc. Apparently, this was all excuses for not fessing up and being a full-fledged man. To not be all macho and strong and an artificial personality. And this is all because I made a comment that essentially like women say all men are jerks, I'm making a generalization that all women are shallow. Because all women want money, all women want... But I even admitted this is a generalization. And I even admitted that it's not necessarily true that all men are. I even said, I don't believe all women are. It's just my luck and what I've met. And then she has to tell me in a message, I would never date you. I wouldn't date you, and if you asked me, I would shoot you down so fast. Well, fine, shoot me down so fast. You know, you don't have to be rude and crude and everything about it. You even admitted that you are that same person right after saying you aren't that person. But that I already explained in a nice manner. I refuse to use vulgarity towards a person. I'm sorry, but that starts to get into the thing of being nearly abusive. I cannot be that type of person. I am sorry. How long are you going to comb your hair?
Well, you're doing the video, and I'm trying to straighten it out and stuff.
Oh.
I mean, well, I'm doing something, you know.
Anyways, I really don't see why I need to sit there and belittle someone with vulgarity like I was treated. That makes me not a man? I'm sorry, but that doesn't make me not a man. In fact, I don't even like being classified as a man, miss, because being classified as a man, to me, is putting me in with a bunch of jerks. And yes, I know that not all men are. I know men that are actually really nice, gentle people. But most of the men I've met are people that I do not like. They are mostly very sexist. Men who have good looks usually are exactly like women who have good looks. And they know it, and they will use it. I have a friend that I grew up with named Gary. Gary told us as a kid once that if there was a bowl of soup and it was warm, he would stick his dick in it. He screwed every single girl that I pretty much knew growing up. Why? Oh, hey baby, I've never even seen a girl before with a tongue piercing. What's it feel like to kiss? Want to find out? Okay, next thing, 5 minutes later, they're under the bleachers.
Isn't that the same guy that's got AIDS?
Yeah, he's got AIDS now. And you know what? He's still acting like that, ladies. There are people out there like that. Don't be so willing to just give yourself to a person because you think he's hot. Because most guys who are hot will move from one woman to another as a social butterfly, screwing anything that will.
I was talking about this last night. You remember the neighbor who he put bad dog?
But unfortunately, some people sit there and I quote, if I work hard for a living, and if I want a guy who is hot, I will have a guy that is hot. I'm entitled to it. Yes, you're entitled to it. Attraction's important. You know what? Attraction is not part of love. Attraction is part of sexual desire. And there doesn't necessarily have to be sexual desire in a good, healthy relationship. Sex is a nice added bonus to a love relationship, but it is not the reason for it. So, at least in my opinion. But, you know what? I'm not a man because I have difficulties. I've had situations. Oh, and I'm not deserving of love, even though I've never technically been loved by anyone in my entire life. Even my dad, at the age of 10, told me essentially that I was a pawn used by my mother to sucker him into marriage, and he never wanted a kid. That was a wonderful comment that he made. About the best I've had in love is actually Rita, who's been adoptive family and her mother. And then you tell me that Rita's too good for me. You know, that's telling me I don't deserve friends or anything. Why? Because I'm disabled? Because I have some mental problems? You know, this is the thing that's wrong with the world is people like you and your beliefs. The fact that you feel that it's all right to belittle and essentially demonize a person because they make a generalization based on their own recognition of what they've seen in their life. I'm 37. I have watched and observed relationships over and over again. You know how many times I've actually seen a fat, ugly woman essentially standing there and they make a pass at a guy and the guy's like, ew, get away from me. And then she cries, why won't guys date me? And then some guy who's, you know, ugly and fat comes up to her and hits on her and she's like, ew, get away from me. Like, I deserve something better. I mean, women are like this so far. I've met fat women. I've met a woman who is so badly disfigured, and yet she was a sweet, kind, and gentle person. At least so I thought. So I was friendly with her. I chat with her. And one day she said, do you have an interest in me? Because I don't have an interest in you. You don't have any income. And you're not even attractive. And it's like, how more hurtful can you be?
Is that the woman who's still single?
She's still single. But that wasn't the one I'm talking. That wasn't the one we were talking about last night. As I was explaining to Rita, almost every single girl I've had an interest in or have made a pass at in my life, which is about 5 girls, every single one of them is still single. And you know the reason why they're still single? Because of the personalities. And their looks. And I was willing to go with them. But they didn't really want me to begin with. So...
Well, it must be like Cindy 1981 says, personality and attraction. If they both fuse together, then you might, and you are personality and attracted to them, it will work. But otherwise, it's just your friends.
I mean, I don't require a woman to wear makeup, and I don't require her to wear a low-cut blouse, and I don't require her to wear high heels. Heck, I don't even require sex of her. But a woman feels that she's got a right to require that I lose weight, get plastic surgery to look better, shave my face, and wear starch-collared shirts. That sounds like it's all right for me to change. It's what I call Prince Charming. Every woman.
I just wanted to say, before he goes on to the Prince Charming thing, and this is something that I want to say, and I've said this once before, the transgendered male to females want the Prince Charming. They have the Prince Charming syndrome.
That's actually how it came up, was we were talking about transgenderism. And how trannies want the same things. And they should be happy with anything they're able to get, but they're not. And this, again, is something I've learned firsthand. And it's not my personality. I know this because I don't know how many times I've heard people say, and almost everybody I know is, I don't know why you can't get a girlfriend. You're the sweetest guy in the world. You're the most kindest and most caring and most compassionate guy I've ever met. You are the friendliest person, and you're smart and funny. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be enough for a relationship of any sort. It doesn't matter that I will never strike a woman. It doesn't matter that I will never yell at a woman. It doesn't matter that I will, always do what I can to take care of myself without ever asking her for help. I mean, it'd be nice if she'd be willing to help, but I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, I don't have enough money this month, and I'm going to do my best to pay what I can of the bills, even though I'm on a fixed income.
Cindy 1981 also said, remember, that she doesn't want a guy that's going to take care of her.
Exactly, that she'd have to take care of. I would never want anyone to take care of me, honestly. However, as I was saying in that video also, I don't understand why women want equality, yet they don't want a house husband, but they're willing to be housewives.
Even the male to female transsexual one have to be a frumpy housefrau. No offense to you viewers out there.
But anyways, that's just observations, and observations could be wrong, but heck, I even see this in Hollywood and stuff.
Don't forget
the attractive are always with the attractive. Look at all the magazines in the world, essentially. They show which attractive stars are dating which attractive stars, and everybody seems to care and love it.
Don't forget the stewardess that you made a pass at that blew you off.
It wasn't all that attractive, but apparently she wanted a guy who had, and this was exactly her quote, is any guy who has an interest in her must have $100,000, drive a BMW, and have a very nice, lucrative job.
And a house.
Oh, and a house. I forgot about that. Plus, he must have a 6-pack.
6 or 8-pack, and optional a boat.
Yes. By the way, I guess that there's something just hitting the news now about a woman who basically went to a dating site and said that she's looking to marry a wealthy man, and some wealthy man actually responded to her with something, and I didn't read it to find out what, but you know what? It seems to be getting quite a lot of attention about how stuck up she is. There's a lot of women that's stuck up like that, though.
Would you like to explain the reason why I see the women in this day and age?
When I say stuck up, I don't mean nose in the air, oh, I'm above you, I'm beyond you. It's just a matter of, well, I won't settle for anything less. As I said to this person, what if you ended up meeting a guy who's got some deformity, who happens to be like the nicest, sweetest, kindest guy in the world, and is willing to do anything for you, and be there for you, and you love his company, and you like his personality, her answer essentially was, nobody sits there and says, oh, what a great and lovely personality that one has over there. They always say, what a nice pair of buns he has, or how attractive and handsome he is, or how I'd like to screw him. And, well, nobody wants to have that guy around their arm that everybody's looking over at and being like, man, that guy's ugly. Well, I'm sorry, but, that's the wrong attitude yet again.
I was going to say, because you're talking about women and their attitudes in this video, is take my example of Lexi and Cappy.
Yeah, they want rich men too.
Go.
They want rich men too to support essentially their drug habits. And I don't know if Caprice has a drug habit, but she wants a rich man too.
Well, she's
to take
got
care
one.
of her. And she happened to find one who happens to be married, who won't divorce for her. And, it seems that he's just running on with her, and he's going to dump her to the curb eventually. She's going to end up hurt, because this is how rich guys act. Rich guys essentially say, I got the money, I could buy any woman I want.
That's what
All I
he
have
said.
to do is drive down through the ghetto, find some attractive woman, and flash some money and some bling at her. Next thing she's going to do is be in my car. And that's about right, too. Heck, there's a basketball player who's in the news right now from the Toronto Raptors or whatever, who happens to have 2 girlfriends. Why? They want a lavish lifestyle, he's willing to give it, so they don't mind that he's dating 2 of them at once. And this is wrong. This is disgusting. This is not morally acceptable. This is not what love is. This is what screwing each other over is. And all it is a matter of whose sex is better sex. Showing off trophy guys, trophy wives, and, who cares how nice anybody else is. And no, I'm not mad at women because I'm not in a relationship. I've already sat there and said, you know what? I'm going to be celibate my whole life and alone. I don't really want anyone at this point. If I did, I want somebody who's like the best friend in the world, who I can laugh and giggle with and watch movies with and cook a meal for now and then, and almost every day. And somebody
she told you to utilize your skills that you have, your skill set, to find a girl.
Yeah, but again, I'm not going to make passes at people because, in my opinion, that's actually close to being rude. You don't know how many times that even not trying to make passes, I get essentially assaulted by the guy saying, stay away from my girl, and I haven't even talked to her. I don't even know who she is.
Can you give an example of...
Oh, my neighbor's... Oh, yeah, there's a guy who actually sent me a blastogram on Facebook telling me to stay away from his girl because her sister is friends with my friend.
Me.
And it's like, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm not exactly making passes at your girl, so why the hell are you essentially verbally assaulting me over this? Yeah, I happen to know her, but the one better is actually my neighbor. She's in an abusive relationship, and I've never talked to her for more than 10 minutes at all since I've lived here. In fact, the only time I ever talked to her really was when her keys were thrown on the top of the roof above my apartment when her boyfriend got mad at her, and we were trying to get the keys off the roof, and I did everything I could to try to help her. Eventually, we got the keys off the roof. She was able to go inside. I haven't spoke to her since. But apparently, within a month of me living here, her guy said he'd kick my ass if I even so much as looked at her. Well, that's not right. And it's like, you know what? I've never made a pass at her, never talked to her. You have no reason to sit there and be worried about me. And I don't know how many times I've walked down the street and I've sat there, not sat there, but just walked down the street leisurely, saying hello to people as I go, because I'm always polite to everyone I pass. And this woman walks past me, and I'm like, hello, and she's like, not on your life, or you don't have a chance, or don't even think it, buddy. And it's like, you know what? I didn't ask you anything. I said hello. I'm continuing to walk. You're continuing to walk. You're the one who stopped to turn around and look at me and tell me I don't have a chance with you. Wonderful. You know what? I said hi. Take it as hi. Hello. It's a friendly thing. People do it all the time when they see somebody in passing. Hi! I mean, it seems lerpy to do. Hi! But, you know, it's something I do because it's a matter of kindness. Because if you walk past somebody, head down, and totally ignore them, there's no friendliness in that. Well, this world needs friendliness. But, you know, I'm a friendly person. I don't deserve love or friendship. But, anyways, we've gone on long enough. This whole thing was really supposed to be about OIC. Ended up getting twisted around all over.
You said you were going to use their name.
Oops. Never mind that. This whole video's been butchered from the beginning. You have anything to add into this horrible, horrible video that hasn't been added already?
No.
Anyways, I don't know what more to say. I mean, I've been rather on the defensive all week because it's been a horrible week between OIC, there I go again.
Cindy 1981.
Which I didn't want to mention her by name either.
But it's not slander because you don't know who she truly is.
I don't know who she is. Heck, as far as I know, she's a frumpy housewife who's like 600 pounds who can't get out of the computer. But she's got no pictures whatsoever, and she wants to tell me how to live my life. I guess that's fine. But, you know...
No offense to you, Cindy 1981. I didn't mean to laugh. I was just picturing a fat 600-pound Momo in front of the computer.
In fact, I even said I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with her that wasn't an angry, hostile conversation from her part or from my part. I am not mean or rude or crude to anyone, and nor do I hold anybody accountable for actions. I forgive them. That's how I am. I'm a forgiving person. Heck, I've forgiven my stepfather and my mother who attempted to kill me numerous times. Never succeeded. But, you know, I've forgiven my dad. I love my dad. I love everybody. This is what is preached by loving people indiscriminately in the Bible and stuff.
My sister told me that I should dye my hair.
Perhaps. It's up to you.
Well,
I mean, I'm the type of guy who would sit there and tell you honestly if something looks good on you. I was thinking this the other day. There's a woman at the gas station, and she's sitting there, and she's not exactly horrible looking, but she wasn't attractive either. And I was sitting there, you know what, I would have told her immediately, don't wear those clothes. You have a severe VPL right there. For those who don't know, that's visible panty line. And what are you trying to do? Show off your best asset? Literally, asset. Then there was a woman not too long ago I saw walking by the library. She was wearing these pants she must have thought were wonderful looking pants because they were all torn and obviously machine torn and faded in certain spots.
Pants that you pay $150 to
Probably.
have tear.
Exactly. A $150 pair of pants. And it made her look like she had absolutely no ass whatsoever. Totally flat, like a piece of cardboard. And you could tell by looking at her face and her arms that she's probably much rounder than that. So these pants probably were something that shouldn't be worn, because unfortunately men are attracted to a rump.
No,
and they're attracted to looks. And since most women are also after looks, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their own personalities, then, you know, these were the wrong pants to wear. But you know what? It wouldn't have been appreciated if I even walked up to her and said, hey, you know, ma'am, you shouldn't wear those pants.
Well,
and by the way, even if a person's younger than me and female, I will call them ma'am. And if they're younger than me and a male and I don't know them, I will call them sir. This is a matter of morals, politeness, and respect. That's why I don't make passes unless I know for a fact a woman is single and interested, because passes are a form of disrespect, and I believe in dating for a time being before marriage, but unfortunately we all run into it for the hottest person that we can find, and that's why so many relationships end in divorce anymore. But you know what? I don't deserve
Reminds
love
me, the thing about you talking about the clothing, you know, in the gas station. Before my sister came out to get an apology, she asked me if something looked good on her. I turned around and told her flat outright it made her look like I'm wearing a muumuu.
I never explained the Prince Charming thing. Disney for years has been saying that no matter what you look like as a woman, eventually Prince Charming will come along, sweep you off your feet, and take care of you forever and ever and ever and ever. And you will never have a trouble in your life and live happily ever after. Unfortunately, that is not the way this world is. Prince Charming only exists to a select few women throughout the world. Almost everybody else has to settle for the frog. And a lot of women do, finally, eventually, somewhere.
Last night we were talking about looks. Remember how after 40 or 50 they phase?
Exactly. What's the point of going after for somebody for looks when by the time they're 40 or 50, the looks are going to be gone? They're going to be gone. No more. Gone. You know, you're not going to be attractive anymore. That's why men usually are much more successful with 40 to 50-year-old women. Oftentimes because 40 to 50-year-old women now no longer have the stuff to strut. And the men actually usually begin to get it at that point who didn't have it beforehand.
I do want to say, just for poops and giggles out there, no 1981 Cindy, I am not insulting the transgender community, but look at that British woman who wanted to strut her stuff in a short miniskirt at 70.
Yeah, that's... Some people
most
shouldn't keep the mini skirts in the closet, but...
Yeah, most trannies want to wear the mini skirts. You don't see me wearing a mini skirt.
The other thing I was going to say... See, you got me off track.
Sorry.
Again.
The looks. You were talking about looks.
I know, I was talking about looks and Prince Charming. But, you know, we can't always have everything we want. And...
Well, apparently, no offense to Cindy 1981, but she thinks she can have what she wants and have her cake and eat it too.
You know, that's fine. To each person their own.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you want, then fine.
We support you.
Be that way. But you don't have to tell other people they're wrong for their generalizations, because a generalization's an opinion, and opinions are not always right. Generalizations, in fact, are meant to not be right all the time. But, you know... To me, it's just a matter of respect for other people. As I said, I will not make a pass at a person who I do not know is single and who is not interested, because that isn't right. It's not respectful. It's assuming, and I try not to assume. But
Mom used to say
generalizations are in a form of an assumption, and this I understand. But you know, I'm saying it's the same thing as saying all men are assholes, because not all of them are. In fact, I am the furthest thing probably from an asshole that you will ever meet. But even then, I'm still called an asshole for assuming, looking or being semi-passive. In fact, that's usually my way, as I'm passive-aggressive. Oh, I remember what it was I was going to say. I will not change myself for a woman, because the reason women want change in a man is because they want a sign of love. It's a symbol of love. I am willing to rip it off and change my life for you because I love you. Here, have this rose. I picked it myself after growing it, and I had a brown, black thumb until I learned because of my love for you, and now only I wear ruffled shirts with all sorts of plumage from the Victorian age because this is what you love. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to change myself. I am what I am.
And just so you know, not to get off course, but on the transgender community that wants the same thing a genetic woman does, is because they want to be bloody taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be taken care of by anyone. In fact, you know, I'm happy being in a relationship with a woman where I live in one place and she lives in another, and we get together all the time. Why? Because, heck, she might not like my snoring, and she might not want to pay my bills. That's fine. You know what? I'll cook any meal for her, and if she considers that I don't want to pay for your meal, I'll cook her meal and I'll go and eat a bowl of rice. You know, that's fine by me. I set myself up to be abused by people because I am too kind and too loving. But it happens. It happens, it happens, it happens. I'm not going to change myself, though, for another. I'm not going to change my morals. I am not going to be someone I am not.
He also believes that his video games would be taken away from him, too, and his anime.
Oh, I need to... One of the things with my mind is I need to keep it active. If I don't, I start getting very bad thoughts, which I don't want to talk about too much, but essentially they're self-harming thoughts. And my therapist told me that this is all normal behavior.
And your doctor didn't give two damn.
And my doctor doesn't care. She seems to think that it's normal behavior, too. I'd love to see one person say it's normal behavior to sit there with your stove going and thinking about pressing your face to it. But this is exactly why I need to sit there and keep my mind active with something. So, I figure that if I get in a relationship with a woman, she'll sit there. You spend all day in your books. Stop spending all day in your books. You know what? I'd pay attention to her all day if she could keep my mind occupied. But unfortunately, there's going to be times where she can't hang out with me. There's going to be times that she couldn't sit down and watch TV with me or something, or I'm not going to be busy cooking meals. She's going to have to work because maybe she's going to work, or she'll be disabled too. But unfortunately, disabled girls all think that they need a normal guy.
Normal hot guy. No offense, it's
Exactly.
just my own generalization again.
Yes, I know this is a fact too. Except for I have known a few women that have had other thoughts about Rita, and Rita kind of messed some of that up. Speaking particularly of former Miss Melissa, who was a disabled girl and was very quite taken by you. And now she doesn't talk to you at all and's banned you and me, even though I never talked to her at all except for send her a Christmas present because you told me to send her one.
I sent her kids one last year.
And because she sent me one.
I sent her kids Christmas gifts last year and she thought I was using her body to get in her good graces. Okay.
So, anyways, it's not everybody, as I said.
I was going to say the whole story about our former neighbor who was like 500 pounds. Erin made passes at her, and what she do? She didn't want Erin. She had to go and get pregnant by a Hispanic guy who's married with 5 kids already.
Oh yeah, there's that one. I was thinking the one who ended up running off and getting wanted to get pregnant for 2 gay guys who now won't talk to her and has had some legal issues and was a former neighbor as well. And now she seems to be...
The one who got me in trouble with APS?
Now she seems to have a problem... Yes, the one who got you in trouble with APS, who now seems to be molesting little girls, apparently, by giving them art classes. But that's beside the point.
Don't forget, there was one other one that really pissed you off. The Miss... yes, add me on Facebook, then click.
Yes. Now she's gotten pregnant, has a peanut of her own. I would have had no interest in her. I didn't even find her attractive. But you know what? If she ever made a pass at me, I wouldn't have turned her down. Because this is what I was trying to say, Miss Cindy, is that if a guy gives a pass at you and says, "Can you meet me for coffee?" and you don't know him, give him the time of day, even if he doesn't have the looks, just to be friendly. He's obviously trying to be nice. You can always go and have coffee and not talk to him again. You don't have to give him a cell phone number. You don't have to give him an address. He already knows where to find you at work or whatever. What are you going to do? Quit your job because the customer asks you to meet him for coffee?
I wanted to say something that reminded me of something funny.
And who knows? By meeting him for coffee, you might sit there and have the most enjoyable night of your entire life with a guy that you would never have even thought about making a pass at. And that opportunity is gone because you judged him based on looks immediately.
Well,
and that's all my point is. Stop judging on looks. If you happen to be a single lady, don't judge all men as assholes when you're only going after pretty boys, because pretty boys essentially know what they got, just like pretty girls.
I was taught personality comes first, looks come second. If you got personality but no looks, then go with someone with good personality.
Honestly, I have said in my own life that I have my own picky points. And unfortunately, that's sad because the one girl that I might actually have an opportunity with in my entire life, I can't go for on one sole principle. I cannot tolerate alcoholics. I cannot tolerate a person being drunk.
Are you talking about, wow, awesome, cool, totally?
Actually,
girl?
That's the second one. I forgot. There's actually 2 girls, but both of them are horrible, horrible alcoholics. And you know what? I love both of them as people, though. No, I'm not referring to you. I was referring to Miss A in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yes. She stopped watching my videos a long time ago.
I actually think that she's a wonderful person, and I adore her child. She's a single mother, and I just think that she's a wonderful person. And I'd be honored to be able to date someone like her, but I know that she wouldn't have the time for me anyways, even though I know she wants to cook in her life, and I'm a good cook, but because she hates cooking. But at the same time, I can't deal with an alcoholic. And, of course,
there was 2 that banned him on Facebook. The first one was a Mormon girl.
Mormon girl.
Yes, Miss K.
Oh, I didn't even know she's Mormon, so that was wrong.
You know what I mean.
I never had an interest in her. She never had an interest in me.
But you added her. She said, "Go ahead," and then.
Yes. Sorry, Rita got off on a tangent there again. There was one other I had an opportunity with. Again, a bit of an alcoholic, but I got her out of a bad relationship. I did everything I could to help her out. She was being abused horribly. Her daughter was being abused horribly. Her son was being abused horribly. And she ended up moving back to her parents after my encouragement and everything. She got away from the guy. And then when it came time to Christmas, I said, hey, I'd like to send your kid some Christmas presents, and I got something for you too. She ends up giving me a fake address. And I never talked to her after that, after she got engaged to a guy who
owns his own airplane
happens to own his own airplane and his own boat. She went for the guy with money and looks. So, but I was never technically in a relationship with her. In fact, I even said once to her, which may have been a no-no, you know, I'd be honored to be in a relationship with you, but I don't think that I'd be good for you because I'm just a very fucked up individual. And, you know, another reason, Cindy, why I'm willing to discuss my interests in women and how my attitude is because maybe there'll be a girl out there who has the moral constraints that I have, who would be willing to love me for who I am, no matter what, who wouldn't try to change me because they don't believe in changing a guy. And maybe someday I could actually meet someone. As you've now noticed, as I am not a normal person, and no, I'm not a man. I don't consider myself one. I'm not a woman either. I am just a human being, and a very morally rigid one, I suppose you could say. I believe in courtesy to other people. I don't like when my neighbors come upstairs at 2:30 in the morning stomping on every stair and bashing my door with their groceries, or having their middle of the night spats because he's afraid she's screwing someone even though he's basically taken away her car and told her to quit her job and beats her every day.
Now she's got an eviction warning.
Now she's got an eviction warning, but it wasn't my doing.
It was his?
It was hers? No, it had to do with some other neighbor complaining. I never complained about it. I have my problems. There's no doubt about that. But you know what? I can't just make my problems disappear like that. If I could, I wouldn't have problems. You know, this is... I don't know. This is another hour video, and it didn't need to be.
That's cool. So,
anyways, I don't even know what the title is. Describe it as...
I'm a woman, so technically, you know.
I think you're a person, too. In fact, I think all people are people, and I think everybody needs to put their foot down and say, I'm not changing myself for another human being. And you know what? Because I have these, it's not a matter of disrespect that I'm not respecting myself by not losing weight. I mean, without them, I'd be 180 pounds, probably. I'm not a fat man. I am very large-shouldered. I'm broad. But I'm short too. I'm short and stocky, but I'm not fat.
A mushroom.
Yeah, I'm kind of a mushroom. In fact, I'm a fun guy. Stupid joke. Anyways, I don't know what more to say, and I don't want to make this last any longer.
And I just want to say to you people that's watched this so far that I have not belittled the transgender community. People want to be disgusted with me because of it. I am not belittling. I just see and observe what. And
honestly, I don't think I've belittled females in any way. I think that I've made a generalization, which I was defending my generalization on, which is the same as any other generalization.
Miss Cindy, 1981's American, then she knows damn good and well about the Bill of Rights and the First Rights Amendment.
It's a matter of freedom of speech,
Amen,
but
brother,
I didn't need to bring that up because she was just telling me that she thought she was wrong, which is a freedom of her speech, and I respect her opinion. I just don't think she needed...
I'm trying to stay neutral.
I don't think she needed vulgarity in her opinion. I think she could have had a normal conversation. And if anybody thought that I was yelling, no, not necessarily. I was passionate. It's how I get about things. I get passionate about it. I'm willing to put my voice out there, and you know, it sounds like I'm yelling, but I'm not yelling. It's not how I am. But anyways, I'm going to walk off camera so I don't keep talking.
So, I'm going to have to ask him to figure out the topic of this video. Please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, feedback, suggestions. Thank you. And may God bless the world.
I don't know.